How's it going, everyone? It's Justin with MyManJustin's Collectible Emporium, and I am your man for Pokemon cards, card analysis, and Pokemon investment consulting. Today, we're going to get into a few things. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the current Pokemon market that we're in. I'm going to showcase the 8th binder on my channel, a binder that I just recently picked up. And I'm going to talk about some cards I recently just purchased, and I will talk about listings that are currently going on an auction format on my store this week. The Pokemon market is really booming right now, and I think that is due to the current situation we're in, how it has caused a lot of people to be kind of indoors and a little more dormant and perhaps on their phones searching around a little more, especially because a lot of other markets are closed right now, so there's kind of less places to spend money. So there's just an availability for more attention to be drawn to the Pokemon market and the eBay platform, and this has caused prices to go up substantially. In some cases, double the amounts in cost within the period of 2 weeks. So what I did is I just want to show you a few listings that I followed, and you can see here we have 2 base set Charizards, a base set Blastoise, Magneton, Vileplume. That's a first edition Fossil Gengar, first edition Fossil Raichu, Erica's Clefable, a Neo Revelation Entei, a Lieutenant Surge's Magneton, and a first edition Fossil Aerodactyl. This lot right here, this is 13 cards, went for $485. That's almost $40 a card. And given that the Kangaskhan, the Vaporeon, most of these cards, really the only cards worth more than that are the Charizards, and even the Blastoise, to get $40 for a base set Blastoise is a pretty good amount. And given also that the conditions of these cards, these weren't near mint cards. They were maybe like, I would call it excellent condition. That's a little bit better than light play, but not as good as near mint. So to get that kind of price, that just shows you there was a lot of people focused on this. There was aggressive bidding, and this whole situation we're kind of in right now, like I've said, we've kind of got this boom because of the current situation. And I've noticed through my own store, this is just from my own personal insights, I've noticed an increasing amount of Wizards of the Coast cards in my own store being sold faster for a little bit higher prices, while the newer cards from XY and up are actually selling at about the same pace. So what that means is that people are getting into the hobby just for the collecting aspect of it. And that's a good thing, because even when the economy starts to open back up and people get going back to their jobs, there will be a little bit of a recession, but I really think there's going to be a net gain in the market with this. I think it's pretty obvious, actually, because this initial interest and this kind of thrust forward that it's caused a lot of people to get into isn't just going to go away when people start getting back into their normal routines. The interest is going to be there. That kind of hunger and that kind of spark that this kind of ignited is going to be there. It just might be a little bit less aggressive. We might see prices kind of go down a little bit. Things won't be as aggressive, but I'm almost certain this is going to be a long-term gain in the market. This is just a nice leap forward for the whole Pokemon hobby. I think there's a lot more collectors in it. I think a lot of collectors probably found new passions for it. They explored and found new cards they weren't aware of in the past. They found a new interest in different cards, and all these compounded together are just a recipe for a lot more interest in the market and a lot more growth for the market. So it's really good thing, really good time to be in this hobby, and we'll see how it goes moving forward. And I just want to show you a couple other listings that I followed. Here we have a first edition Neo Discovery Umbreon, which is a beautiful card. I've showed it on my channel before. I got it in a binder, and it went for $305, and the condition was pretty good. It wasn't like any kind of PSA 10, not even a 9. $305 is a pretty good amount for that card. It's definitely an increase from what it was just weeks ago. Maybe you would get 200, so that's a 33% increase on just one card in a short period of time. This one I was really impressed with. This right here, it's hard to see, but what it is a reverse holo Expedition Vileplume, reverse holo Expedition Venusaur, a base set Gyarados, and a first edition Misty's Gyarados, and that went for $122 for 5 cards. So that's over $25 a card for those 5 cards. And I mean, Gyarados is from the base set are actually a pretty common card. You can get them for about $5. So there's a lot of people bidding, and when people that have some disposable income, they see a card they want it now. They know people that are getting into the hobby realize that these are all out of print, whether it's first edition or not. These cards are out of print. They're not coming back. They're not going to get printed again. So you got to get them while it's hot, and people are acting accordingly. So it's great to see. It's a little intimidating for people investing, because I'm having to get into more creative ways to invest to be able to keep my store going, because as a business owner, I can't just do long-term investments and hope for growth in a year or 2 years or 3 years. I have to be able to consistently buy product and consistently make a profit on it as I go. So it's a little more short-term investments that I also have to make, which are a little bit higher risk. So I'll show you what I'm doing as far as that, and you can check out one of my previous videos about getting creative in this given market that we're in, and I've talked about some ways in that one how I do it. But for here, this is an example. This is an EX Holon Phantom Secret Rare Mew. So what I'm always doing is I'm trying to look forward and see cards that are currently undervalued, and what I'm looking for is, secret rare cards are always great, and this card right now you can get for around $30, and I think it has potential to grow. You can get it for $20 to $30. This one was in a good condition. It was in a decent price, and I decided to go for it because I have to think forward and think of ways to see cards that I think have the potential to increase in price. And it's a Mew. Mew is an extremely popular card, and EX Holon Phantoms, I think, is one of those kind of up-and-coming sets itself. The whole EX series is a real up-and-comer. And which brings me to my next card. I picked up this Team Rocket's Suicune from the EX Team Rocket Return set. Now, I've talked a lot about this set in the past. I think this is going to be and is an extremely hot set. This is probably the most valuable EX series set right now. I've noticed that the cards in this set are obviously more scarce than cards in other sets. For example, you'll see a lot more EX Holon Phantoms, EX Delta Species, EX Dragon Frontiers cards. Even those are fairly scarce. You might, like I've said before, you might only see 1 or 2 of a reverse holo common in that set, the stamped ones that you're looking for on eBay, which is really rare considering eBay is a worldwide platform, and you can find 50 base set holo Mewtwo's at any given time. So I think these were printed a little less, and I think the artwork is great. I've talked about the artwork in this set before. I think the artwork really sets apart in this set from the other EX sets, because the artwork almost rivals and it's almost comparable to the latter Wizards of the Coast sets, Expedition Aquapolis and Skyridge. It has that type of feel to it, especially in the common and uncommon cards in the set, but it still has that newer kind of Nintendo feel that you kind of can notice in this card. You can definitely notice it. It's just got that kind of newer, little more mass-produced kind of feel to it, whereas it's a little more intricate, a little more effort and thought and care taken to it in the cards in the EX Team Rocket Return set. So that's another set. I'm also gonna be picking up a Rockets Mewtwo. That's a really hot card in that set, and I've seen it go for $150 plus depending on condition. So that's something I'll be showing you all too. Next, I'm going to talk about the auctions I have up this week. So this week, what I decided to list is some PSA 10 Gold Star cards. So here's a Gold Star Raikou. It's kind of hard to see. It's the PSA 10. There it is, Gem Mint. So with the PSA 10 grade, you know, this is what we're all trying to get out of it. The PSA 10 is really special. It's even with a PSA 9. A PSA 9 is a mint card. It's a great card. It's a beautiful card. But when you get to the realm of PSA 10, I mean, this is what we're paying for. This is basically saying this is a freak occurrence card. This card was just happened to be cut almost perfectly, centered almost perfectly. It didn't get shifted around in the pack to where it got little marks of wear. It doesn't have any surface damage. It is a gem mint card, and that kind of makes it a work of art in itself. Even the case around it kind of adds a whole new aesthetic to the piece when you think about it, because that's one of the things with PSA collectors is cards, especially cards that are newer, are really worth getting in the slab because they're collected differently. Cards like this don't go in a binder. It's a whole new way of collecting, and that's actually also a downside to PSA collecting, is because you can no longer put them in a binder. Although they do sell sleeves that allow you to put them into binders, it's a little clunky and heavy, which is the problem with it. But when you collect with PSA, you know, maybe depending on how people collect, maybe if they have a whole Gold Star set, they'll put it in some kind of frame, you know, under glass, and put it on their wall, and you have this big framed, graded set. So it's just, you kind of start thinking differently when it's in these slabs. Also, I have the PSA 10 Gold Star Entei, and it's another great card. The Gold Star set, you know, are a unique subset within within the EX series, spread out within different EX booster packs, different sets. The Unseen Forces set had all three of the legendary dogs that were able to be pulled. From what I've read, the odds are really low for these. They can be as low as 1 out of every 3 boxes. So yeah, if you want to try your luck and go for some bids and add these to your collection, these are the kind of cards that are really good for an investment type of purchase. It's a great piece of art, but it's also a nice solid investment. It's graded 10. It'll never not be a 10, and as time goes on, these are only going to get more rare. These packs, you know, can cost anywhere from $150, $300 to $500 for a pack. So great purchase to have in your inventory. The other thing that I decided to put up for a listing this week on auction is a near complete reverse holo Aquapolis set. It's a total of 77 cards, with most of them being reverse holo. So Aquapolis, talked about it before, the height of Pokemon artwork, Wizards of the Coast artwork. It was just a revolutionary set. It kind of took a whole new form from the original artwork in the Wizards of the Coast sets, which are also beautiful, but it really just stepped it up a notch. They added new environments, more detailed environments in the backgrounds, and the Pokemon took on kind of different unique artworks and styles and stances and positions. So that's up as well, 77 card Aquapolis set. So now we'll get into the binder I just picked up. I'll just talk about it a little bit. I'll talk about some tactics that I employ to be able to maximize value when I am selling cards in my store. I hope you appreciated that little quick market insight, and the next video I'll be uploading right after this will be a video of binder number 8 on my channel, and I will just do as I usually do. I will talk about the cards, highlight unique ones, talk about the costs, current prices for them, maybe any little backstory. I'll talk about a few little tricks and tactics I use to maximize value when I'm selling. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that one. That'll be uploaded right after this one. Thanks.